Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Crestie Conversations here on the Geckoverse podcast channel. As always, I'm your host Josh with Georgia Cresties, and this week we are talking about a little Repticon recap, how my first Repticon went the previous weekend, and give you a little insight of how the behind the scenes of what it's like to be a breeder at a reptile expo. So if you've vended before, maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you'd be like, oh, what a cool experience. Maybe I want to start vending. Or maybe you're just someone on the outside that really wants to get a inside look at what vending at Expo is. This is something for all of that. So before we get into that, last time on the podcast, we talked about all of the reptiles I was bringing to Repticon. So you got to see a up close and personal view and an in depth look at all of the geckos that I was taking to Repticon. So, if you are interested to see what I brought to Repticon, go ahead and check that out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, okay? So, first up, Repticon is a reptile expo that is here pretty much every 3 months. It is held at the Gwinnett County Fairgrounds here in Lawrenceville, Georgia, which is very close to home for me, so it was a very easy trip. I appreciated that a lot. It is at the fairgrounds. It is the two buildings there where they had like the little fairgrounds and like movies, laser shows, and something like that. Um, Very nice. I was in the second building. I was vending with Tom from Southern Raised Exotics. Tom is a very good friend of mine. He has a lot of great reptiles, not just crested geckos, chahua, gargoyle, crested. He has a couple others. I don't remember the name of them, but if you're interested, go check him out. Tom is a great dude, great breeder as well. Um, I was with him. I could not get off the wait list again at Repticon. Again, every time they come around, I get on the wait list because Repticon does it as soon as you buy or as soon as you get into Repticon, you stay with Repticon. You get to buy a table before anyone else. So as long as you get your as long as you get off the wait list once, you get to keep that spot forever. So as long I keep waiting for that. But until that happens, I'm going to be vending occasionally with my buddy Tom at Southern Raised Exotics. So that would be a lot more fun to come, but let's focus on the one that just happened, okay? So, again, we were in the back. It was really nice because as soon as you came into the venue, you went straight back, and we were not the very back wall next to the restrooms, but we were the row above that. So that was very nice, direct path. We had a lot of people come by the table. We talked to tons of different breeders, tons of different people that had never seen crested geckos before. So it was really cool being able to share what a crested gecko is with people that have never seen one before to people that have owned hundreds of them. Okay, so it's really cool catching up with your breeder friends as well that are at the expo vending with you and the ones that are coming around to see you and to see your animals. I had several people come up and be like, oh yeah, I saw that you were going to be here at Repticon. I wanted to make sure I stopped by your table to see your geckos. And they were like, I saw that you were going to be bringing so-and-so. I wanted to see them. What they were talking about is I made a display case for the first time at a reptile expo. I had a display case and I brought certain holdback not for sale geckos with me. So let me go ahead and switch over here and show you what that display case looked like. Okay, give me one moment. There we are. So as we can see here, this is the display case. I actually found this off of Amazon. So instead of spending $500 on a typical display case that you have that is laying down, this is a vertical. I mean, I guess I could lay it down, but this is a vertical display case, and I have used a soldering iron to poke holes in it for ventilation, even though it could have been okay, but just to be for sure, I went ahead and soldered holes in it so that we had plenty of airflow. And you can see there in the middle of each little section, it has four sections. we have my Georgia Crestie stickers. So anyone that took pictures of my display here, there's any of my geckos, they also got to see my little branding right there as well with Georgia Cresties. So I thought that was a good idea. I put a black piece of, I hot glued a black piece of felt to the back of it, so it would have more contrast with the geckos and not just show straight through and be distracting of what was in the background. What's up, Reese? Good to see you, man. Glad to have you in the chat. Haven't talked to you in a while. Good to see you. We're going over how Repticon was. Here is what my display looked like. So I was just going over. These are the geckos that I am holding back, and so they were not for sale. And this display case only had one lock on it, which was nice, a lock, but it was also only one door. That was the downside to it. Thankfully, my geckos were calm enough that I didn't have much issue getting all of them in and the others trying to run out. So that was nice. And for security, I put in the bottom right here, I had two holes that I soldered, and I had a metal wire, a little tiny metal wire that I ran through it. It was probably about like 6 foot of wire. So I just ran it through like a little kitty corner. I soldered a hole on this side and a hole on the back side there. And I just fished the wire through it. And so what I ended up doing was tying it to the table leg, just so that if anyone happened, I know it probably wouldn't, but just in case, because you always have to think of the worst case scenario. Unfortunately, I had it tied to the table so that in the unfortunate case that anyone tried to take my not for sale, very important to me geckos, this is what would deter them and prevent them from getting it. Let's see what Reese says. Usually you have a nice display. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is actually the first time I've had this display at a expo. I can actually play the video for you here. This is what my display looked like. All right. Did you promote your show at the expo? No, I didn't do like any lives or anything. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, I like to have a minimalist look, but I like that because it has a lot of negative space you can see. So I have the information sheet that people take pictures of so that they can remember just a little quick start guide that's not everything you need to know about a crested gecko. It's just a quick start guide to where you're able to function and own a crested gecko very easily at that point. You should be talking and promoting it at your expos. See, I always want to, but I'm just one person as well. I know that's kind of an excuse, but um, that's what I got. Let me see this. Pause it right there. I'll go over who I have here. So there we go. That's a good image of it. So like I said, I'm one person. It's hard if I'm distracted looking at the phone screen at comments or whatever, or at the live screen share. Damn, tongue twister. I screwed that up hella times. Can I talk? Let's get back into it. Okay, but yeah. So basically, I don't want to be distracted from my table in case someone untrustworthy were to walk up and to try to take one of my geckos. I wouldn't be able to know anything about that, so that's why I don't do it. One day, if I can get an assistant, I will do that. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Reese says no. I'm saying go live and saying I'm not saying go live. I'm saying telling people to follow you and watch you. Yeah, definitely. Whenever, like towards the end of the conversation, whenever it's like wrapping up, I always give them my card that has all of my socials on it, that has every way to like contact me on it, so that if and I tell everyone, if you ever have any questions about crested geckos, whatever it is, please reach out and follow me. Please reach out on any of these, but I respond fastest to Instagram. Reese says, promoting it when you talk to people who ask you about geckos at your table, dork. Yeah. That's what I just said, dummy. Jeez. Alright, let me talk about my geckos. Sheesh, man. Get off my back. No, I'm kidding. I love it. Thank you. Love it, Reese. So, anyway, so this was my display. The first day here, I had Helios on top, my very, very nice Extreme Harlequin. Here I had Glacier, which I did not produce either of these boys here, but they were very, very nice geckos that I have in my collection, and I wanted to share that. I am going to be breeding Glacier here for the first time next season, and I am very excited for that because he is a very, very high white boy. And then I have Peaches as well, one I produced, a Extreme Harlequin, a Lily White. Very pretty. She's lavender base as well. And then, of course, we have Chips Ahoy. Sorry, this was Sunday that I had him, not Saturday. This was Sunday. Chips Ahoy here is a Super Dalmatian, red spot, and she has a lot of ink blots, a lot of oil spots, red spots, and bullseye spots as well. She doesn't have a lot of bullseye, she has a few bullseye spots. But, anyways, let's get off of that. Boom. And we're back in action. Alright, so that is what my display looked like. Now, overall, I had a very good experience with being at the table. I had Tom there and his daughter to watch the table if I had to go to the restroom or whatever, and the restroom only being 20 feet away was very convenient as well. So that was very nice. I appreciated that a lot from Tom. Very hospitable host as well, I might add. The show in general, so Repticon generally has a good diversity of reptiles. This show is really snake heavy and crested gecko heavy. There was a lot of crested gecko breeders and a lot of snake breeders, but there was also people that had a lot of different stuff as well. Stuff had no idea what it was, and then also a lot of like snakes, or not snakes, spiders, arachnids, other little bugs and stuff like that, little insects and whatever creepy crawlies that I don't really care for. And then the people that the gutter people were there. All right, thank goodness the gutter people were there. They were putting on a heck of a show over there. We appreciate them here at the Reptile Expo for them having their gutter guards on display. Thank y'all. Wouldn't know what to do without you. Um, but so yeah, a lot of crested gecko breeders. A lot of them I know or I know of just from being going to the same reptile show for 5 years now and seeing them at every show. I know them. I talking to them every time I see them. So and as well as like vending, they know me. They know my geckos, and so it was really fun catching up with like Blood Moon and just a bunch of other people. Um, but yes, let me stop saying, that's freaking creepy. Uh, Overall, a lot of reptiles were sold. A lot of them were families and people that had kids as well. And so, part of the reason a lot of people were getting, a few of the breeders at the Reptile Expo were selling crested geckos for $25 to $80, which is all fine and good if you're just trying to get money and like pump out geckos, but they're your basic run of the mill geckos, which is cool. Like they still need homes, they need love, but like when you're a breeder and you're putting all this like effort into it, you're trying to look at it for the most high quality, and then other people, which you're not thinking about, you're like, oh, I'm putting these amazing animals on display for people to see, and then they're not thinking about that. They're like, oh, I don't want that for my family. I don't want that for my kid. I want to have something because I know my kid's probably not going to take the best care of it, like the last gerbil or fish that didn't work out, or the cat that they don't like anymore that hides from them all the time, or the dog that mom and dad take care of now, whatever the reason can be. Uh, they see it as a easier way, easier investment to go the cheaper route and get the 25, 40, $80 gecko, which to me, as a breeder, you should really be aiming higher than that because even if you go to Petco and PetSmart, who are notorious for not having the best animals or taking care of the animals that well, they are selling geckos for $90 to $120, and people are buying them from there. So, like, are you, as a breeder, saying that you're not better than Petco and PetSmart? Like, trust me, it's not hard to be better than Petco and PetSmart. Like, you have to have like good faith in your like quality and what you're producing to not just try to like get in and just sell whatever to get whatever money you can to recoup what you put into geckos or whatever. That's my spiel about it. But so you have a lot better quality animals. You have people that are more invested in the animal and like the hobby itself. It's really cool to see. Um, that being said, you probably see where this is going. I did not do that well at this show financially wise. I did find two new homes for two geckos. So that was very cool to have two geckos go to new homes. And these are people that hadn't had geckos before. So that was very cool as well. I really appreciated them. Again, I reached out to them whenever the show was over and thanked them. And again, said, if you ever have any questions about your gecko, please reach out. I'm happy to answer whatever questions. And of course, if it's over my head, I'm going to say go to a vet. And I got one in downtown Atlanta that I know is pretty good. For pet's sake, is pretty good. And there's also, never mind, there's two in Houston, Georgia. You have to be very careful. I forget the name of it. But one of them is not good, and just look at the reviews on Google, and you'll see which one I'm talking about. You'll know which one to go to. Okay, but yes. So, ooh, I was talking to them, and I also sent them the parent pics. That's just something I like to do, is like a personal, like, little effect to the customer. I started doing it recently. I try to always message the customer if they followed me online or if I happen to get their phone number when uh, checking out in the checkout process. I like to follow up with them and just let them know that, hey, I'm here and I'm available. Just reach out to me and I'll be able. I usually reply pretty fast. So um, I think that just goes a little bit like instilling trust and faith into you and your brand as well, that you're willing to be able to be contacted and want to talk about your gecko that you gave this person, because it's not, for me, it's not, oh, you just have a gecko, thank goodness I don't have to take care of it anymore. No, or thank goodness I have more space for more geckos. No, like, I still want that gecko to do well. I want that gecko to live its full healthy 15 to 20-year lifespan, more so in captivity now, who knows, hopefully more. Um, but yes, so having those good, healthy geckos, knowing that they're going to good homes, that you're explaining to the people that are buying the geckos from you what the basic needs, at least the basic needs of what they need, and to instill trust and faith in them that they got it and that you know that they'll be able to give your gecko a great life. Something I did for the first time at this show is I brought the tank that I have each of the geckos in as part of a little like extra. If you buy this gecko, you can get his tank as well. This is what they've been living in. This is how I house geckos. I found it as a really good tool as well. I had one just next to me. And so when they were like, oh, what do I need for them to live in? I'm like, well, this is how I keep all of my geckos. You have 3 to 5 hides. All of my adult ones have 4 to 5. And then all of this foliage, all of this room to climb, food, water bowl, hides, tons of foliage, stuff like that. Ventilation as well, vents, where to get all that. And just sharing every information I can with them at the show while I have their attention. Just so, because, like Tom said, I'm not going to be your first gecko that you get. Your first gecko, you're going to want to be a little bit more cautious, maybe you're not confident in yourself of keeping stuff. Like I can't keep plants alive for most plants I can't keep alive for some reason, but like I had a cactus die or a an aloe plant die. I was upset, but nonetheless, none of my geckos have died on my watch. Okay, I do better with animals than plants. Okay, I promise. Um, so I ended up for overall for the show. I ended up netting out equal for the most part, just netting out equal, not including my time. If I include my time, gas, well, not gas, that's factored in already, but if I factor in my time, uh, obviously there's a little bit at a loss, but I pretty much broke even between buying the display, the stickers, the cards. I had to buy a few of the containers for the geckos. So all of that added up and it ended up being equaled out. And I also took the weekend off of work, so I didn't miss out on work because I worked the other 5 days of the week, but that could have been 2 other days that I could have been working, making money. So, but overall, I had a very, very fun time talking to everyone, seeing everyone's animals. Um, in the end, do I wish I sold more animals? Obviously, but of course, when you're breeding, you win some and you lose some, right? This is the first one that I've taken a loss on, so it's just something that I have to manage through. I mean, I'm doing fine without it. It's okay. It would have been nicer to find more homes for geckos, but I have plenty of space here. I'm not hurting at all, so I love to have these geckos with me. That is not a problem at all. I loved having all of these Cresties. So I hope to see y'all at the next Reptile Expo. I don't have that set up yet, but as soon as I do, I will let y'all know, okay? So, what? I think that's the end of our show right now because I don't know anything else unless y'all have any questions about it. Because I went over how I did, how we were doing at the show. All my friends did really well, so that was something I was really happy about. Um, all of my friends that were there, they sold multiple geckos. One of my friends, Blood Moon, they sold 32 geckos, which is crazy. That is amazing. So happy for them. That's awesome. Tom sold, I think, seven to eight, nine geckos, something like that. So huge shout out to him. Great job to him. He sold some great gargoyles, some great cresteds. It was really, really cool. And he has these little tiny things. I forgot what they're called, but little itty bitty things. They're really, really cool. I love looking at them. But Michelle Hoy, she did really good with her frogs. Um, yeah, just a great show. It was great seeing everyone, and I can't wait for the next Repticon. Hopefully, we do a little bit better. I also have to think about what I could do better as well, like what better selling tactics I could do, um, my body language as well. Uh, I try stand up most of the time because I know when you sit down, you can. I feel like you're like I feel like I'm more disconnected with the people, so I always make sure I stand up and am like engaged with the people, talking to people, not just saying, "Hey, if you have a question, let me know." I just started saying like random facts about the geckos. So that's something that I try to do with people. I did talk to a lot of people. I may not have talked to enough people or the right people, but I had great conversations with a lot of people, and I appreciated everyone that came out and supported me. I had a lot of people come out that were like, "Oh, hey, I knew you were going to be here. I wanted to see this gecko. I wanted to see this one." And I was like, "Oh, cool. That's really cool. Thank you." And it was really cool, like coming together and being with everyone and being in that space for the weekend. So again, thank you, Tom, for the invite. Loved it. And thank you all for being here on Crestie Conversations, episode 15. Thank y'all. And until next time, keep it Crestie, bestie. All right. Thank y'all. Have a good night. Boom.